Good afternoon. This is All India Radio. I'm Tanvi Taneja and with me is Anuja Kumar with the Midday News. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi hits out at the opposition parties for not being part of grief when country was mourning the death of Pulwama martyrs. Prime Minister pays tribute to the Iron Man of India, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, on his 145th birth anniversary. Prime Minister tells civil service probationers to connect themselves with the people and become responsive. In Bihar, campaigning for second phase of assembly elections gain momentum. COVID-19 recovery rate reaches 91.34%. And in IPL cricket, Delhi Capitals to take on Mumbai Indians and Sunrisers Hyderabad to clash with Royal Challengers Bangalore. As the nation fights the COVID-19 pandemic, we begin with a message of precaution to stay safe and protected by following 3 simple steps. Wearing a face mask, maintaining 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, and focusing on hand hygiene and face hygiene. Now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has appealed to people to unite for peace and prosperity of the country and achieve the goal of Ek Bharat Shreshtha Bharat. Addressing the Rashtriya Ekta Divas parade on the occasion of 145th birth anniversary of Iron Man of India, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, at the Statue of Unity at Kevadia in Gujarat, the Prime Minister hit out at opposition parties for their alleged stand on the Pulwama attack last year. He said when over 40 paramilitary personnel died in the attack, these parties did not feel sadness. He said the country can never forget that when India was mourning the death of its sons, some people were not part of that grief.
पुलवामा हमले, उस हमले में हमारे पुलिस बेड़े के हमारे जो वीर साथी शहीद हुए, देश कभी भूल नहीं सकता कि जब अपने वीर बेटों के जाने से पूरा देश दुखी था, तब कुछ लोग उस दुख में शामिल नहीं थे। वो पुलवामा हमले में भी अपना राजनीतिक स्वार्थ खोज रहे थे, अपना राजनीतिक स्वार्थ देख रहे थे। देश भूल नहीं सकता कि तब कैसी कैसी बातें कही गई, कैसे कैसे बयान दिए गए। देश भूल नहीं सकता कि जब देश पर इतना बड़ा घाव लगा, तब स्वार्थ और अहंकार से भरी भद्दी राजनीति कितने चरम पर थी।
The Prime Minister said that India has lost thousands of innocent lives in the fight against terrorism. The Prime Minister said that unity of the world community is necessary for peace and prosperity of the world. He urged the international community to unite against the increasing threat of terrorism. The Prime Minister said that Jammu and Kashmir has marched towards development after removal of all barriers on its path, while the northeast region is also on the path of development after the peace accord.
कश्मीर के विकास में जो बाधाएं आ रही थी, उन्हें पीछे छोड़कर अब कश्मीर विकास के नए मार्ग पर बढ़ चुका है। चाहे नॉर्थ ईस्ट में शांति की बहाली हो या नॉर्थ ईस्ट के विकास के लिए उठाए जा रहे कदम, आज देश एकता के नए आयाम स्थापित कर रहा है।
Mr. Modi said that the government is working for the welfare of the farmers, labourers and poor and striving to make them self-reliant. He said that the nation is marching towards self-reliance in the defence sector. Today, he said, we are creating hundreds of kilometres of long roads, bridges and tunnels in border areas for the development of those regions. He also praised the frontline corona warriors and their fight against the pandemic.
आज भारत की भूमि पर नजर गड़ाने वालों को मुंह तोड़ जवाब देने की ताकत हमारे वीर जवानों के हाथ में है। आज का भारत सीमाओं पर सैकड़ों किलोमीटर लंबी सड़कें बना रहा है, दर्जनों ब्रिज, अनेक सुरंगें लगातार बनाता चला जा रहा है। अपनी संप्रभुता और सम्मान की रक्षा के लिए आज का भारत पूरी तरह सज्ज है, प्रतिबद्ध है, कटिबद्ध है, पूरी तरह तैयार है।
The Prime Minister also witnessed the Rashtriya Ekta Divas Parade. The police forces of Gujarat, Central Armed Police Force, Border Security Force, Indo-Tibetan Border Police, Central Industrial Security Force and National Security Guards took part in the parade. The Prime Minister also administered the Ekta Pledge on this occasion. Indian Air Force performed a fly-past on this occasion. The Prime Minister also witnessed a rifle drill by the female officers of the CRPF. Earlier, the Prime Minister paid floral tributes at the Statue of Unity at Kevadia in Gujarat. President Ramnath Kovind, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu also paid floral tributes to Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel at his statue at Patel Chowk in New Delhi this morning. Home Minister Amit Shah and Delhi Lieutenant Governor Anil Baijal also paid floral tributes at Patel Chowk. On the occasion, Home Minister Amit Shah administered the Unity Pledge to people. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, in his tribute to Sardar Patel, said that we need to reiterate our resolve today that we will always dedicate ourselves to uphold the unity, integrity and security of the nation. Information and Broadcasting Minister Prakash Javadekar has also greeted people on Rashtriya Ekta Divas. In Puducherry, rich tributes were paid to the Iron Man of India, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, on his birth anniversary today. We have a report.
Puducherry Chief Minister Narayanaswamy, cabinet colleagues, legislators and senior officials of the territorial administration are among others who paid floral tributes to a decorated portrait of the leader near Gandhi statue on the beach road here. Mr. Narayanaswamy administered the Unity Pledge to the gathering. He also inspected a guard of honor presented by Puducherry Armed Police on the occasion. Chandramohan, Air News, Puducherry.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi called upon the civil services probationers to connect themselves with the people and become responsive, interacting with the young officers through video conferencing from the Statue of Unity under Arambh 2020. Mr. Modi said that our government is responsive and that young officers should connect themselves with the common people. The Prime Minister said that, in a way, Sardar Patel was the father of the civil services.
एक प्रकार से सरदार वल्लभ भाई पटेल ही देश की सिविल सेवा के जनक थे। 21 अप्रैल 1947 एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव सर्विस ऑफिसर के पहले बैच को संबोधित करते हुए सरदार पटेल ने सिविल सर्वेंट्स को देश का स्टील फ्रेम कहा था। उन अफसरों को सरदार साहब की सलाह थी कि देश के नागरिकों की सेवा अब आपका सर्वोच्च कर्तव्य है। मेरा भी यही आग्रह है कि सिविल सर्वेंट जो भी निर्णय ले वो राष्ट्रीय संदर्भ में हो, देश की एकता अखंडता को मजबूत करने वाले हो, संविधान के स्पिरिट को बजाय रखने वाले हो।
The Prime Minister also appealed to the civil services probationers to achieve the Atmanirbhar Bharat and go for the vocal for local. Elaborating on Mission Karam Yogi, the Prime Minister said that it will help in improving a skilled set of civil servants.
मिशन कर्मयोगी कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग की दिशा में अपनी तरह का एक नया प्रयोग है। इस मिशन के जरिए सरकारी कर्मचारियों को उनकी सोच, अप्रोच को आधुनिक बनाना है, उनका स्किल सेट सुधारना है, उन्हें कर्मयोगी बनने का अवसर देना है।
The civil services probationers under training at the Lal Bahadur Shastri National Academy of Administration in Mussoorie had joined with the Prime Minister through video conferencing. The Prime Minister has launched the country's first seaplane service connecting Statue of Unity in Kevadia with Sabarmati riverfront in Ahmedabad. Mr. Modi had earlier inaugurated Water Aerodrome at Kevadia near the Statue of Unity and took the first ride of the seaplane from Kevadia to Sabarmati riverfront in Ahmedabad. On the occasion, All India Radio News from its archives brings to you select excerpts from the speeches of the Iron Man of India. Speaking about merger of the princely states, Sardar Patel had said that the cooperation shown by the princely states had resulted in the unification of India, which was unprecedented.
जो राजा महाराजा हो उसमें से बहुतों ने काफी स्वदेशाभिमान बताया और भारत की सरकार को साथ दिया। उसके लिए मैं आज इन लोगों को धन्यवाद देना चाहता हूं और मैं कहना चाहता हूं कि उनकी मदद से आज मुल्क में जो एकता हुई है वो सैकड़ों साल पहले कभी नहीं थी।
Speaking about the communal harmony, Sardar Patel had said that all the people must live together in the country and strengthen the nation.
ऐसे सब मजहब वाले लोग मोहब्बत से एक दूसरे के साथ बिखर रहे, कोई झगड़ा फिसाद न करे। हमारा मुल्क को हमें मजबूत बनाना है, ताकतवान बनाना है।
As a mark of respect to Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, who was India's first Information and Broadcasting Minister, All India Radio hosts the annual Sardar Patel Memorial Lecture. This year, External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar will deliver the lecture at 9:30 this evening. It will be broadcast on the entire network of All India Radio. Minority Affairs Minister Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi will preside over this year's oration. Minister of State for External Affairs V. Muralidharan will also be present. In the past, a galaxy of eminent leaders, scientists and historians have been on the podium to deliver the lecture. The series started in 1955 and the first lecture was delivered by C. Rajagopalachari. The News Services Division of All India Radio will broadcast a special program on the life and times of Sardar Patel titled Rashtriya Ekta Ke Shilpi in the Spotlight tonight. This program can be heard on the FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 9:15 p.m. onwards. It will also be available on our website newsonair.com and on our YouTube channel News on AIR Official.
सबसे ऊंचा था वो है और रहेगा, भारत की शान था वो सदा अमर रहेगा। सबसे ऊंचा है, सबसे शानदार, जो हो पूरश है हमारा सरदार। मजबूत था वो, इस धरती माँ का सपूत था वो, किसानों का अपना सरदार था वो, हुकूमत पर तेज असरदार था वो, देश को जोड़ा शिल्पकार था वो, सोमनाथ का जीर्णोद्वार था वो, ऋण आज उसका चुका रहे हैं हम, उसे अंबर से ऊंचा, अंबर से ऊंचा, सबसे ऊंचा है, सबसे शानदार, जो हो पुरुष हो हमारा सरदार। हो सबसे ऊंचा है, सबसे शानदार, जो हो पुरुष हो हमारा सरदार। सबसे ऊंचा है, सबसे शानदार, जो हो पुरुष है हमारा सरदार। तुम da na 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 na, तुम da na 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 na, नागिर दिख दिन da na 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 ना। भव्य सरदार का ये दर्शन हर सदी में हमें पाना है, देशभक्ति और साहस का बल हर पीढ़ी को समझाना है। मां नर्मदा के तट से, हाँ अभी और इसी पल से, एकता का संदेशा हम सबको, हाँ हर दिल तक पहुंचाना है। टुकड़ों में अपना बटेंगे, एक साथ हम सब रहेंगे, एक भारत श्रेष्ठ भारत बना के एक सुर में गाएंगे। भारत माता की सबसे ऊंचा, सबसे शानदार, लौह पुरुष है हमारा सरदार।
You are listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi hits out at the opposition parties for not being part of grief when country was mourning the death of Pulwama martyrs. Prime Minister pays tribute to the Iron Man of India, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, on his 145th birth anniversary. Prime Minister tells civil services probationers to connect themselves with people and become responsive. In Bihar, campaigning for the second phase of assembly elections gains momentum. COVID-19 recovery rate reaches 91.34%. And in IPL cricket, Delhi Capitals to take on Mumbai Indians and Sunrisers Hyderabad to clash with Royal Challengers Bangalore. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो कुछ वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे.
The government today said that the country's COVID-19 recovery rate has crossed 91.34%. More than 59,000 COVID patients have recovered during the last 24 hours. The Health Ministry said the total number of recoveries has gone up to over 74,32,000. The actual caseload currently comprises only 7.16% of the total positive cases. Presently, the total number of active cases in the country is 5,82,000. During the past 24 hours, 48,268 new cases were reported, taking the total number of positive cases in the country to over 81,37,000. The ministry said that effective implementation of the strategic and graded test, track and treat approach has led to higher recoveries and lower fatalities. Currently, India's case fatality rate is at 1.49%, which is one of the lowest globally. During the last 24 hours, 551 deaths were reported, taking the toll to 1,21,641. According to Indian Council of Medical Research, more than 11,64,000 tests were conducted during the last 24 hours. The total number of samples tested so far has reached 10,77 lakh. Mumbai is seeing a steady decrease in COVID-19 cases with a simultaneous increase in the doubling rate of the infection among the people. As per the latest data, the average doubling rate has increased to 157 days. Also, the average patient growth rate has reported to have declined by 0.25% in these 10 days to have come down to 0.44% from 0.69% on October 20th. A report.
BMC officials claim My Family, My Responsibility drive have helped creating an awareness among the people. BMC officials said the drive, which involved health workers visiting homes, helped in early detection of the disease, thereby restricting the spread of disease. F South ward has the highest individual doubling rate of 362 days, while there are 3 wards with the doubling rate of more than 200 days and 4 wards with doubling rate beyond 176 days and below 199 days. Officials said that areas in western suburbs like Borivali, Kandivali, Dahisar and Malad have also seen a decline in cases. So far, the city has reported over 2,52,000 cases and more than 10,000 deaths. Devapriya Bhattacharjee, AIR News, Mumbai.
As COVID cases are on the rise in Kerala, Section 144 of CRPC has been extended in 10 districts for 15 more days. Assembly or gathering of more than 5 people will not be permitted in the regions during the period. Public transport, government and commercial institutions, industries and hospitals can operate by adhering to social distancing and break the chain protocols. Presently, the total active COVID cases in Kerala is 90,565. In Tripura, 97 fresh cases of COVID-19 were detected in the past 24 hours, while 141 patients were discharged. The recovery rate has also increased to 94.17% in the state. According to the latest state COVID-19 bulletin, the total number of infected people rose to 30,663, out of which 28,855 patients have recovered. Currently, 1,439 patients are undergoing treatment. 343 patients have died of the infections so far. In Telangana, 1,445 new cases of COVID-19 were reported in the last 24 hours. With this, the total cases in the state went up to 2,38,632. The state has conducted over 41,000 tests yesterday.
The recovery rate has also marginally improved to 91.72%, with 1,486 more people recovering yesterday. The number of recovered people so far in the state has gone up to 218,887, with 6 more people succumbing to COVID-19 during the past 24 hours. The total fatality rose to 1,336. Currently, the state has over 18,000 active cases, out of which over 15,000 are in home isolation. The Bruhat Bengaluru Mahanagarpalika has issued show-cause notice against 7 private COVID hospitals which have failed to comply with the government direction to reserve 50% of their beds for municipal corporation-sponsored COVID patients. The notice was issued under Karnataka Private Medical Establishment Act, KPME, for the suspension of the licenses. The notice says that if no proper explanation is received along with the compliance of reserving 50% beds, the municipal corporation will be constrained to close down the OPDs initially and then close down the hospital after shifting the patients to other hospitals.
The United States reported over 1 lakh new infections of COVID-19 yesterday to surpass the record total of 91,000 posted a day earlier. The daily caseload of 1,233,000 is also a world record for the global pandemic. The United States crossed 9 million cumulative cases yesterday, representing nearly 3% of the population. 16 U.S. states reported their highest one-day coronavirus infections, while 13 states were at record levels of hospitalized COVID-19 patients. The number of daily infections reported during past 2 days indicates that the country is now reporting more than 1 new case every second. The COVID-19 pandemic, which has killed nearly 230,000 people in the United States, has dominated the final stretch of the campaign. In Bihar, the campaigning for the second phase of assembly elections will come to an end tomorrow evening. In the second phase, 94 constituencies spread over 17 districts will go to polls on 3rd of November. In view of this, leaders of various political parties, including the NDA and the Grand Alliance, are leaving no stone unturned to woo the voters. Leaders are holding a series of election meetings and roadshows throughout the state. Our correspondent reports that Bollywood and Bhojpuri stars are attracting huge crowds in election meetings.
The countdown has begun for the by-election to the 2 assembly segments, with the district administration in Bengaluru and Tumkuru making arrangements for conducting the polls under the shadow of the pandemic. The elections will be held on November 3rd. There are 15 candidates in fray in Sira and 16 in RR Nagar Assembly constituencies. The BJP, the Congress and the JDS have fielded candidates in both the constituencies. The State Chief Electoral Officer has issued advisory to political parties not to violate guidelines, and political parties or candidates found violating the guidelines will face penal action against them. They have been advised to maintain social distancing and wear masks while campaigning, which ends today. In Leh, Advocate Tashi Galtson was unanimously elected as Chief Executive Councillor and Chairman of the 6th Ladakh Autonomous Hill Development Council, Leh General Council. Earlier, the newly elected Ladakh Autonomous Hill Development Council Leh councillors took the oath of office.
Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has asked the officials to take strong action against stockholders of essential items and said that pulses and vegetables should be available to the general public on reasonable prices. The state government has also made arrangements to provide potato and onion at reasonable rates to the general public. A report.
Managing Director of UP State Horticulture Cooperative Marketing Federation, Dr. R.K. Tomar, yesterday launched the mobile van to provide onion and potatoes on cheaper rates to the general public. This service has been started in state capital Lucknow first. He said that for this facility, the potatoes will be purchased directly from the farmers and middlemen will have no role in it. To provide onion on cheaper rates, it will be purchased directly from the bulk market. He said that to maintain the availability of onion and potatoes and for its sale, help of farmer producer organizations and horticulture cooperative societies will also be taken. In coming days, there will be more mobile vans in the state capital. Sushil Chandra Tiwari, AIR News, Lucknow.
Maharashtra Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray has asked the central government to revoke its order of putting a cap on buying of onion by the traders, saying the decision has adversely affected the market, leading to the crop's price rise. In a letter to the Union Minister for Consumer Protection, Food and Public Distribution, Piyush Goyal, Thackeray said in view of the centre's order of limiting the buying of the crop, the onion traders in APMC have stopped buying onions from farmers, affecting the supply chain.
Union Minister Piyush Goyal has said that Food Corporation of India and state agencies are all set to procure a record quantity of 742 lakh metric tons of paddy during the ongoing Kharif season as against 627 lakh metric tons last year. Briefing media in New Delhi, Mr. Goyal said the number of purchase centres for Kharif 2020-21 have also been increased from 30,709 to 39,122. He said the procurement season was advanced to 26th September in view of the early arrival of paddy in the market. Mr. Goyal said production of pulses has gone up in the last 5 years due to the relentless efforts of the government and introduction of support prices. He said the government is working on a twin track to increase domestic production and ensure that consumers get the pulses at the right price. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today greeted people on Valmiki Jayanti. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said, the ideals and ideas of Maharishi Valmiki on social harmony, equality and justice will always inspire countrymen. The Prime Minister paid tributes to former Prime Minister Indira Gandhi on her 36th death anniversary.
Prime Minister has expressed grief on the demise of the spiritual leader Ramarao Bapu Maharaj. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said, Ramarao Bapu Maharaj ji will be remembered for his service to the society and rich spiritual knowledge. The Prime Minister said he worked tirelessly to alleviate poverty and human suffering. The air quality in Delhi NCR continues to remain in a very poor category. According to the Central Pollution Control Board, Delhi's air quality index was recorded at 369 at 10 a.m. The System of Air Quality and Weather Forecasting and Research, SAFAR, has suggested people to avoid all physical activity outdoor at early morning and after sunset times. It also suggested to asthmatic people to keep relief medicine handy. It has said to stop any activity level if people experience any unusual coughing, chest discomfort and breathing difficulty. SAFAR has also suggested people to avoid burning of wood, candles or incense. The Federation of Indian Publishers, FIP, has organized a virtual version of Delhi Book Fair this year in light of the corona pandemic. The book fair, organized in partnership with Pragati E, is a 2-day online event which will culminate tonight. In IPL cricket, there will be 2 matches today. The first match between Delhi Capitals and Mumbai Indians will begin at 3:30 p.m. in Dubai. The second match between Royal Challengers Bangalore and Sunrisers Hyderabad will begin at 7:30 p.m. in Sharjah. Now let us take a look at the weather update for the day. National capital Delhi will have clear sky. Minimum temperature was recorded at 14 degrees Celsius and maximum will be around 29 degrees. Mumbai will have mainly clear sky. The minimum temperature was 21 and the maximum will be around 34 degrees. In Chennai there will be generally clear sky. Temperature will hover between 25 and 32 degrees Celsius. Kolkata will have partly cloudy sky. The minimum temperature in the city was 24 while the maximum will be around 33. In the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, the minimum temperature was 12 degrees Celsius in Jammu while the maximum will be around 30 degrees. The city will have mainly clear sky. In Srinagar, the sky will be mainly clear and will become partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. The temperature in Srinagar will hover between 1 and 20 degrees Celsius. Leh in Ladakh will have mainly clear sky, becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. The minimum temperature was 1 degree Celsius and the maximum will be around 14. Gilgit will witness mainly clear sky, becoming partly cloudy towards evening or night. Temperature will hover between 1 to 21 degrees Celsius. In Muzaffarabad, minimum temperature was 7 degrees Celsius while maximum will be around 28 degrees and there will be mainly clear sky. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi hits out at the opposition parties for not being part of grief when country was mourning the death of Pulwama martyrs. Prime Minister pays tribute to the Iron Man of India Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel on his 145th birth anniversary. Prime Minister tells civil services probationers to connect themselves with people and become responsive. In Bihar, campaigning for the second phase of assembly elections gains momentum. COVID-19 recovery rate reaches 91.34%. And in IPL cricket, Delhi Capitals to take on Mumbai Indians and Sunrisers Hyderabad to clash with Royal Challengers Bangalore.
And with that, we end the Midday News.